Hello, everyone. So, in class, we walked through this process. This is going to be a video to help you out if you weren't here or if we need to kind of go back through and make sure that we did it right. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a celebrity image on Google. Okay, so I'm going to go to google.com and let's see, let's go with Britney Spears. Okay, now the goal of this is that they would have good shadows and highlights represented. They have a clear view of the face. It's not pixelated. It's going to look nice and crystal clear. So let's go with this one. It's a nice close-up image. Let's see if it kind of clears up. It looks like it's not going to. So again, this is not a good example because we have all of this pixelation. We're losing out on the detail. Now, it does not have to be a straightforward picture. It can be a kind of look to the side, but I would say the closer up you can start, the better. We are looking for kind of shoulder and above. So again, this is not a very good picture. So I'm not seeing a whole bunch of good pictures necessarily. Maybe this one. Okay, we also want some good shadows, highlights, midtones represented. So it needs to not look so washed out. I will say also that if you are getting somebody who is bald, they need to have a hat on. Okay, so I'm going to save this one because I'm going to show you two different things. I'm going to go with Britney 1. Okay. And let's see what this one looks like. Still not as close up as I would like it to be. It does not have. Here's a very young one. Let's see, maybe this one. These are all square, so I'm trying to find one that's like a little bit like more rectangular because that's going to show you, because you might have one that is more rectangle. It's still not very good. It's not going to be a good quality picture. Okay, this one might be good. We'll go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to save this one. So I'm going to show you two different ways. Britney 2. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to pull up PowerPoint. Okay. And I'm going to go to File, New Presentation. And it's going to pull up a standard slide window. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to do either 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 8.5 inches for a standard sheet of paper size. So what we need to do is go to File, Page Setup. Now, depending on if your photo is landscape or more portrait. So landscape is going to be longer side to side. Portrait's going to be longer up and down. Okay. So for this one specifically, we'll do this one first. This one is in landscape mode, so that means my width needs to be 11. Okay, so we're doing the standard sheet of paper size so that we can print it out if we need to print it out. Okay, so 11 by 8.5 inches. If your photo is more portrait style, then you might want to do 8.5 by 11. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, just hit scale up, and that's totally fine. Okay, and as you can see, it changes the size a little bit. I'm going to drag a window over this, and I'm going to get rid of it. So I just selected it and deleted it. Now I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, Picture from File. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rectangle one, because that'll be more difficult. And it opens up like this, okay? Now, if yours opens up, like say it opens up and it's like this small, well, we're going to probably need it just to be a little bit bigger. So what you need to do is you need to take it from the corner, okay? The corner. This helps to resize it evenly, okay? Evenly. We want it to be even, okay? And if it goes over, that's totally fine. So what I mean by this, if you take it from the side, look what happens to her. Squish, squish. No. If I do it from the top, squish, squish. We want a proportionate image. So take it from the corner, okay? So again, it doesn't matter if it goes out of bounds, okay? We are going to be getting, if you see this up here, height and width, we are going to be getting it to 6 inches by 6 inches. So what we're going to need to do first is we need to actually crop it down, okay? So we need to crop it to a square. Now I have this nice button right here that says crop, and there's a drop down menu. If you don't have this, I believe you can right click it and go to Format Picture, okay? And you should be able to go to this section right here and go to crop, all right? That, or it might pop up right here when you do that. But I mainly am going to do this. This is going to be the easiest way. We're going to go to aspect ratio. Where it says square, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That means it's going to be even on all sides to make a square. Perfect, okay? So here's the thing. I want more of Brittany's face and not so much of her chest and her shoulders. So what I can do is I can actually resize, and I can bring her into this window a little bit more. I'm going to exit out of that, okay? And what you want to make sure of, though, is that you aren't letting the bounds of this picture go anywhere in that crop box, okay? Or else it's not going to work, all right? All right, this looks pretty good. So once I'm satisfied, I just click out of that bounding box and I have a square image. Looks pretty good. It's not too bad. Now, as you can see, right now our height and width are at 7.46 inches. I just need to go up, type in 6, hit enter, and it changes the entire size of the square evenly, okay? We have a nice picture of Brittany. And the next step is we need to go to, we're in picture format, this tab, but again, if you don't see any of this stuff, you can always right click and go to format picture, okay? We're going to be in this little tab right here. We're going to go to picture color, and we're going to go to presets. If you notice, this is also up here. So I can go essentially to all of the same areas, okay? I'm going to switch it to grayscale. Grayscale is going to help bring out those values a little bit more, okay? Once we have a square image and we like it and it's all good to go, we need to save it, okay? Here's the thing. This is the specific way I want you to save it. You need to right click it and save as picture. This is only going to save this area, okay? we want it to save just the picture. If we were to go to File, Save As, and hit JPEG or whatever, it would include all of this white space. We don't want that. We just want the square, okay? So I'm going to say Brittany, whatever. We'll just name it generally Brittany. And I would save it to your desktop, or if you have an Intro to 2D Art folder, you can save it there as well. You can save it as a PNG or a JPEG. Either one is fine as long as it is a picture file, and click Save. Okay, and then I should be able to find it on my desktop and open it up. And boom, bada bing. There she is in a square. No white space around her. Okay, now I'm going to show you the other way to do it. If you already have an image that has a square, I'm just going to add a new slide, and I'm just going to do that other process real quick. So I'm going to insert that picture, insert picture from File, and I'm going to go to Brittany 1. Okay. Comes in as a square. You can see it's already at 4 inches by 4 inches. It's perfect. Okay, we just need it 6 inches by 6 inches. So I could literally go in and hit 6 and hit enter, and boom. Okay, so if it's showing up as the same number by the same number, that is a square. Now I could make this 7 inches by 7 inches to kind of get it a little bit bigger. Go to crop 1 to 1, and I can shift click, okay, because maybe I want a little bit more of her head and not so much of her her shoulders and her chest. So I just have to make it a little bit bigger first, and then I can resituate and re-crop it. Okay, so again, I can actually go in and make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and I can do that. And that looks pretty good, so I'm satisfied. 6 inches by 6 inches, we're good. And then I would go and make it grayscale, and I would then right click it, save as picture, and then Brittany, black, white, whatever, desktop, PNG or JPEG, it's totally fine. Okay, so I have two different options. Either ones are good. I just wanted to show you both, going from a rectangle picture or a square picture. Now what we need to do is we need to go to a site called griddrawingtool.com, griddrawingtool.com, and you need to go to step 1, which is the upload. You'll choose your file. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one, open. And then once it opens and you see it, you're going to skip over to step 5. Okay, we need it to be 6 inches by 6 inches with 1 inch boxes. So we can't have 5, right? Because 5 times 1 is 5. That would only be 5 inches. So we need it to be 6 inches. So we're going to switch it to 6 boxes. We're going to keep boxes square, and we're going to change our line weight to 1 pixel and apply grid. Okay, and then you can see we have 6 boxes going down and across. Now I can choose a different color. I wouldn't go with something super distracting, but cyan's a good one. So every time you make a change to your grid, if you need that to be a different color than red, that's totally fine. Go with what your eyes see the best, and then once you have your grid set, you will download this image, okay? And it will save to your downloads. Then you need to upload this gridded image to the assignment. Now I will say, if you were to want to print it out, let's say, okay, I can go back in, add a new slide, and insert my grid. Picture from file, and I believe it was under downloads right here. And look at that beautiful picture. Okay, but again, it looks like we're going to need to resize it. And I'm going to, just going to do, looks like we somehow got a little bit bigger in that process. So you can just hit crop and you can, it looks like if we need to go down just a little bit, you can see that we have a little bit extra space. Oops. I actually want to just go down from here because the height was a little off. Okay. Either way, it should be all right. We're going to go to where it says close to 6 inches by 6 inches again. I don't know why it came in bigger, but here we are. It's fine. It's as close as we're going to get. Okay, and that whole, you can add a text box and you can label A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Pull it down. Okay, and then you can do a text box. I would just do individuals 1, and then a good quick way to copy and paste is to alt click and drag on that text box. Okay. 3, 4, because we are going to be labeling our actual grid from our like when we set up our project. So this might help you. I would say it should. And this would be a good practice because we have been practicing this. Okay, so I have, and you can readjust them based on where you need them. It will auto align once you kind of click and drag everything. Okay, so remember that helps us know what's going on in each little quadrant in each square. Okay, so if you need it printed out, great, you can print it out. You just go to File, Print, or you can save this. I would say Save As, and Grid Project Picture. Okay, and save it somewhere where you can find it easily. Save, okay, and then you would have this at your disposal. Okay, it's very important that you don't lose this. You need to have this in order to complete your grid project, okay? Because this is what you are going to now do for the next few steps, is establishing your grid and then going through, making your outline, then doing half, I would say half of the quadrant either way with that shaded technique, and then the other half is going to be designs, and in the background it's going to be opposite. Okay, the background is the only thing that's going to have color, and then the face is going to be grayscale, so it's not going to have any color. Okay, so live long and prosper.